Hello, friends. Is this a bad look for PSA? You might be wondering, what am I talking about? We are going to dig into it. Stay tuned. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends out there. How are we doing? We are trudging through the week, almost to the weekend. We've got NBA All-Star Game. We got the three-point contest, the dunk contest. I don't even know who's participating in these, but I just know that I'm going to be watching this year. I typically don't watch, but I've got kind of a low-key weekend ahead of me, and so I do want to see kind of what happens within like these skills competitions. I think that that'll be fun, and excited to see what happens on the back half, or back end. We're already kind of halfway through, but back end of this NBA season, how it's going to wrap up. There's some exciting teams out there, and we will see. We don't have football anymore. We don't have football to look forward to. The baseball people are still trying to figure out their stuff, and so here we are. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I put out videos just about every day, all about sports cards, collectibles, with a little bit of a finance twist mixed in. And we're happy to have you here, so definitely hit the subscribe, the like button if you like what you hear, and then also tap that notification bell so you're notified every time a video comes out, and it is fairly frequent. Thank you to all of those that came to my live stream last night. That was fun. Just me and you. I do the Off-Centered show with Brad, the comeback card investor, every week, which is a good time, but I also miss sometimes just talking directly to viewership, throwing ideas back and forth, and just talking about current events. So I will try to do that once a week, just so that I can have that connection with you all. So thanks very much for joining me last night for that one. Also, connect with me on IG at The Personal Finance Dad, and I'm on the Twitter thing as well, The Personal Finance Dad. Speaking of Twitter, I did have a viewer reach out to me yesterday and brought this to my attention. Not the first time I've seen this, but essentially what he was bringing to my attention is that PSA is going to be grading cards in person at the upcoming Long Beach show, which I believe starts here in the next couple of days, over the weekend, essentially. Long Beach, California, and PSA will be on-site grading cards Thursday, Friday, and then the show ends on Saturday, I believe, or something like that, Friday and Saturday. But this kind of ruffles feathers with people that have outstanding orders out there. Let's not forget that there are still millions of cards at PSA. Even though that PSA has graded millions of cards over the last 6 months to 9 months, they have been just crushing it, grading tons and tons of cards. But we recently found out they still have anywhere from 3, 4, 5 million cards left in that backlog, which means they were probably in the 10 million plus range at the height of their backlog, which is unbelievable, if you can believe that. But so they are trucking through that, but people are a little bit turned off, especially those that have been waiting a year for their submission. You know, you've got the stuff with Mark's cards where you got people that are still waiting on those cards, and while PSA is doing a solid and grading those cards for free, they still are having to, still taking forever. It's still not a great situation. And then the optics of just seeing that they're on site ready to grade your cards at a premium, of course it's going to cost extra, and they have a 3-hour turnaround time at the show, which of course there's an additional charge on top of the overage charges and the final V charges and whatever. And so, yeah, is it a good look? What do you guys think? Are you someone that has an order still out with them, and this is kind of like a little bit of a thorn in the side, or do you not really care? The other side of this is PSA is running a business. They might feel like they've got the capacity to send a couple of graders to this show. I don't know how many graders are going to be at the show. Is this the only show where they're doing this? Are they going to be grading at other shows around the country? This is stuff I don't know, so how are they spreading their resources around? Is it also partly a branding thing where they're like, hey, you know what? We want to make sure that PSA is out there at these shows. I can understand kind of all sides of this. Plus, they are making more money. Let's face it. These on-site grading, deals, they're more expensive. They're able to get expensive grades done for people that want their cards immediately or very quickly. And so they're able to do that for them, provide that service. So maybe from a business business standpoint, they're thinking of it from the side of like, hey, look, we've got to tackle all angles. We do have to be at these shows. We do have to give this sort of service to people so that we're out front and center. You know, at the same time, we have 90% of our workforce that is set on the backlog, and it still has been. That's what I believe the president of PSA recently said, or maybe it was Nat in an interview. But I believe right now they've got it at 90-10. Where 90% of their resources are going towards that backlog, just chipping away. The other 10% of the resources going to all the new stuff. They've opened up some service levels. And so, you know, we will see. But I can say that I have heard from a lot of viewership that they are not happy to see this. They don't like seeing this because they feel like they've been waiting so long to get their cards back. They don't want to see that someone's able to just go to a show and get their cards graded. I think that if we were in a normal time where there wasn't such a massive backlog, if you didn't have what happened over the last couple of years to where all these grading companies are completely slammed, then I think there would be a different outlook on something like this, or even just a smaller backlog. You know, if you had, 500,000 cards in the backlog as opposed to 4 or 5 million cards in the backlog, probably be a little bit different of an attitude around it. But just being that there's still such a huge wait, to get cards back, I think a lot of people are just a little bit miffed. That's what I've been hearing. Now, a lot of people, maybe it's 20 people that are miffed, maybe it's 10,000 people. Who knows? Don't know what that is. I've seen it on social media quite a bit, where you do have people that are just not crazy about this and they just want their cards back. Another note, I think this is important to note too, because it was something that, I was just thinking about over the last few days. I just heard through my network, a couple people just getting really sick, going through some different types of family issues. And, it just reminded me of, you only live one time, so whether or not, whatever you're doing with your life, I think that it's really critical to take every moment. And I think that this is part of my kind of turning 40 midlife crisis thing that's happened to me. But now I just kind of do whatever. I do the absolute best I can to serve my family. At the same time, I'm also going to do the things that make me happy. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on people or stuff that just does not serve my life. It's serve my little family here, so I think that it's an important lesson, I think, in life as we're going through life, is if we're doing things for others, if we're trying to impress others, if that's really the main motivator, it's just it's an endless road, because you'll never make everybody happy. You'll never please everybody, and you won't be happy trying to please those people. And in the end, who cares what anybody thinks? Who cares what people think, about what you're trying to do? And whether that's making content, collecting cards, in your work life, in your exercise life, whatever that thing might be, parenthood, fatherhood, there's a million different ways you can take that, but just doing your best every single day and just really kind of putting in that work, grinding and being proud of it and being confident in yourself, I think is a really critical thing and important as we kind of move through our day. So I just want to throw that out there. YOLO, guys, you only live once. If you're thinking about any sort of a new venture, believe in yourself, good things will happen. Stay healthy, stay awesome. I'll talk to you again later.